It's time for a little comedy, a little content, and a lot of conversation. It's the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube. Now here's your host, Geno Jones.
Thank you, Mr. Announcer, my man Sean Dolby. Hello, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whatever time it is, wherever you are watching. Yes, I am Geno Jones. This is my daily variety show. I do it Monday through Friday, for the most part, except for some days like this Friday and Monday. I'll be doing the best of. As a matter of fact, I will be taking a break. Got some things working on here in the studio. So in the meantime, it'll be a chance to binge watch some of the best of. And I think every episode is I know every episode is the best of. That'll be this Friday. Even though I might surprise you. I might come on early Friday. But Friday and Monday, go back and binge watch all the previous episodes. All right, definitely. But here I am, live and in living color. Yes, so let's get right into it on this Wednesday, hump day. Shout out to all my working divas. I like to call Wednesday Working Divas Wednesday. I do that on my daily radio show. So shout out to my working divas. And shout out to my fellas, to all my working brothers. I didn't forget you all because, a lot of times people forget about us. We're forgotten about, especially black men. Let's just keep it 1,000. We're forgotten about unless we do something wrong. But that's a different conversation. That's a different show. So here's news, some news you can use, news you need to know, information. I should say, not even news, just some information. So President Biden held a news conference today, and he said that every troop in Afghanistan will be removed, will be out by September 11th. Now, why is that date significant? Because September 11th this year marks roughly 20 years. We were attacked. Our country, the World Trade Centers were basically bombed. You had 2 commercial jets, several hundred people on 2 planes were killed instantly when 2 planes were flown into the World Trade Center. 1 plane into the North Tower, 1 plane into the South Tower. Then you had a plane that flew into the Pentagon, and you had a plane that crashed in a little small town, rural area, Shanksville, Pennsylvania, that was en route to fly into the U.S. Capitol. So the Afghanistan war has gone on for 20 years. 20 years. We first sent soldiers to Afghanistan briefly right after September 11th of 2001. So President Biden said basically, after 20 years, the main reason that we sent troops, the only reason that we supposedly sent troops to Afghanistan was make sure that the people who attacked us on 9/11, and 19 of those people were from Saudi Arabia. So I never really understood how is it that, but I guess they had camps, training camps in Afghanistan. That was the story, and they're sticking to it. But 19 of the 21 hijackers on those planes on 9/11 had Saudi passports. I digress. So kudos to President Biden. After 20 years, I think mission accomplished. Okay? We got bin Laden. Shout out to President Barack Obama, who was the president when Osama bin Laden was killed in his compound that was literally like across the field from like a military facility in that part of the world. So, and I just want to take this time to say rest in peace, power, and paradise, and thank you for the ultimate sacrifice for the roughly 2,300 American soldiers that died over in Afghanistan. And just a shout out to the families, the survivors of those 2,300 American soldiers. May they rest in peace, power, and paradise. And may God give you the comfort. May God bless and have favor over you and your family and give you the comfort and the strength and whatever you need to cope with losing a loved one. Only 1% of us Americans, only 1% of Americans serve in the military. So 99% of us really don't understand that sacrifice. So I think it's important that we recognize that. I think it's important that I recognize that on my show. I've never served in the military. I have the utmost respect for those in the military, outside of the white nationalists and white supremacists and neo-Nazis that have infiltrated the military, which is a different show. I've talked about that many times on previous episodes. But for the 2,300 men and women who lost their life, made that ultimate sacrifice, once again, rest in peace, power, and paradise. All right. The former police officer that shot and killed 20-year-old Daunte Wright last Sunday, Kim Potter, was arrested and charged with second-degree manslaughter. If she's found guilty, she could get 10 years in prison. Kim Potter, in case you didn't know, so Kim Potter resigned from the Brooklyn Center Police Department actually on Tuesday. Today is Wednesday. She was charged with second-degree manslaughter. She shot and killed 20-year-old Daunte Wright on Sunday. Now, this former police officer was on the force for 26 years. 26 years. The video is really hard to watch. It really is. And I wouldn't recommend anybody watching it, because this murder porn, and that's what I call it, murder porn, of black men and women, especially on camera, unarmed black men primarily. Breonna Taylor, thank God we didn't see that murder, but we know she was shot and killed while she was sleeping in her house down in Louisville, Kentucky. So, yesterday I was talking about, so just what can we do? What are some of the things that we can do? Actually, Monday's episode, if you got a chance to go back and binge watch, I was talking about what are some of the things that we can do or that can be done to, if not put an end to this completely, you can slow it up. And like I said, if I cannot appeal to your sense of humanity, your sense of morality, your sense of compassion and empathy, if you don't have the sense of morality to see me as a human, if former officer Kim Potter, if she couldn't look at 20-year-old Daunte Wright and see that could be her son, it could have been her nephew, or maybe a young man that plays soccer or basketball or football or travel baseball I don't know, she has a son. She couldn't see the humanity. It's clear to me. You can be watching me right now and say, well, Geno, how do you know what she was thinking? It's clear. It is clear. You are a 26-year veteran of the police department there in Brooklyn Center, Minneapolis, or Minnesota. So Brooklyn Center, Minnesota is a suburb of Minneapolis. Virtually, they share a border. It's north of Minneapolis, Minnesota. Go north, actually 10 miles. Where this happened is 10 miles from the courtroom where the Derek Chauvin trial is going on right now. And knowing that trial is going on, so you've been on the force for 26 years. You know, here in your community, there's tension and anger and unrest because the world saw George Floyd talking about murder porn. George Floyd's life literally was snuffed out of his body. As you have former police officer, and I use that term loosely, Derek Chauvin, who had this smug and arrogant, just like, so what? I'm killing this N-word. It's not human. Not a damn thing you can do about it. I'm just chilling. I got my knee on his neck for 9 minutes and 29 seconds. You wouldn't treat a dog. If people saw a human put their knee on the neck of a dog out in public, there would be an outrage. There would be a public outrage. We wouldn't treat an animal the way Derek Chauvin treated George Floyd. So you know this has happened not even a year ago in your community, in a suburb that literally shares a border with the city of Minneapolis, Minnesota. And you've been on the police force for 26 years. And because of a traffic stop, this kid must have sensed, Daunte Wright must have sensed that his life was in danger. People will say, well, he had a misdemeanor warrant. It was a warrant for a misdemeanor. You got his license. He jumps in the car, he drives off. You can follow him. You got his license, you know where he lives. You can show up at his house, you could talk to his parents, you could wait for him to get there. And there were other officers on the scene. So former officer Kim Potter, what the hell were you so afraid of? And then if you watch the video, if you watch her own body camera, so before she yells, taser, 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 first of all, she already has her gun out. As Daunte Wright gets back in the car, there was one officer that tried to, I guess, grab him out of the car. So Miss Kim Potter is to the left of this officer. You look at, this is through her own body camera video. She's already got her gun out, pointed at Daunte Wright. First she yells, "Stop, I tase you," while she's holding her gun in front of her face, in front of her eyes, where she can see the gun, like here. The gun is in front of you. She's holding the gun like this, pointing at Daunte Wright. "Stop, I'll tase you." Then she says, "Taser, taser, taser," while she is pointing her gun at Daunte Wright. And then she shoots him in the chest, fatally, and he dies. And somehow we're supposed to believe that you thought that this gun that you were holding and pointing at Daunte before you said a word. And then when you did, you said, "I'll tase you." Taser, taser, taser. While you're holding your gun, you've been on the police force for 26 years. You are holding your own service revolver in front of you. You are looking at it, and we're supposed to believe that you thought that you accidentally pulled your taser. You've been on the police force for 26 years. You can't tell the difference between a taser that's either bright yellow or orange and a black service revolver, 9mm. Come on, man. Come on, woman. Really? Now, the former police chief, which is probably why he got fired, or he submitted his resignation, wanted us to believe that, well, she was in some type of distress and distraught. She accidentally. No. I've seen that video, that body camera video too much. No. There was no way she thought that she had that taser. It wasn't like this. It was out already when she got to the car. You can see when she in front of Daunte Wright, when he jumps in the car, her gun is out. Already. As he jumps into the car, her gun is out. She yells, "I'll tase you," pointing the gun at him. Then about, a second later, 2 seconds, "Taser, taser, taser." And then she shoots him. And she didn't realize this was her gun. Stop. Just stop. Just stop. So, okay, let's talk about solutions. So what do we do? And like I say, if I can't appeal to your sense of morality and humanity, if you don't have the humanity to see me, to see someone that looks like me, or if I had a son, or my nephews, or my daughters, or my wife, or my mother, my sisters, to see my humanity. So if I can't appeal to that, if all the training in the world that you get, if they don't train you how to see people who don't look like you as another human being that has the same rights dreams, desires, and a right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That wants to go home to see their family just like you want to go home to see your family. So if I can't appeal to that sense of your morality, then I can get your attention by digging in your pockets. If you know that you'll lose your pension that you've accrued over 26 years, 26 years of money and pension, if you know that's about to go poof, or that's about to go to Daunte Wright's family, if you know that you could lose your home, your car, your bank account, then that might slow you down a little bit. Yeah, you might be racist, but you be like, you got to choose. You got to make a choice. Because Kim Potter, former police officer, she made a choice. She said, I'll tase you. Then she said, taser, taser, taser. So this was premeditated. She had time to think about this. Daunte Wright was unarmed. Daunte Wright didn't make a threatening motion toward her. He jumps in the car trying to drive off. And after she shoots him in the chest, he does drive away. And several blocks later, the car crashed. He was pronounced dead on the scene. So, you can't see me as human. You hate me. The sight of my presence in my body strikes fear in you. Boy, my first piece of advice, anybody that's that scary, if just the sight of a black person scares you that much, then your scary ass needs to find another job. Now, that's just tell the truth, shame the devil. That's the bottom line. Your scary ass is in the wrong job. If the sight of someone, just because of the pigmentation of their skin or their gender, strikes fear to where your initial instinct is to shoot, to kill, you are in no way equipped or qualified to handle that level of power and authority. No. You should not even be allowed to own a water pistol because you're too irresponsible. And your hate, your bigotry, your bias, your racism has blinded your sense of humanity because you can't see me as a human. So if I can't appeal to that humanity and morality, I'll go dig in your pockets. I'll get your attention that way. President Biden, the United States Senate, House of Representatives, Vice President Kamala Harris, Senator Joe Manchin in West Virginia, I need you not to get in the way of this. Pass the George Floyd Justice in Policing Act. Once again, I need everybody in Washington, D.C. to pass the George Floyd Justice in Policing Act. All right? That act includes things like ending racial and religious profiling. Get rid of this racial profiling. Get rid of this religious profiling, what you do to Muslims. You think every Muslim is a terrorist. But the greatest threat, according to the United States government, according to all the intelligence agencies, according to the FBI, as far back as 10 years ago, the greatest domestic terroristic threat, it's not Al-Qaeda, it's not ISIS, it's not Osama bin Laden's grandchildren. It is white nationalists, racist, white supremacists, neo-Nazis, white militia, right-wing hate groups. Same people that stormed the U.S. Capitol on January 6th. They are the biggest domestic terroristic threat. Not a 20-year-old black kid that had air freshener hanging from his inside rearview mirror or had some misdemeanor warrant. So we need you to pass that George Floyd Justice and Policing Act. Ends racial and religious profiling. Eliminates these chokeholds that killed Eric Garner. Ending qualified immunity. What does ending qualified immunity mean? Qualified immunity is basically a law that says that you're not supposed to be able to, I can't sue a police officer for manslaughter. If you for what happened to Breonna Taylor, for what happened to Kim, what happened to Daunte Wright. Qualified immunity protects people from going after their personal assets. So you can't go after their pension, you can't go after their personal bank accounts, you can't go after their property. You have to sue the city that they used to work for, which is crazy. So that means the parents of Daunte Wright have to pay themselves for Kim Potter murdering their son. How crazy is that? What? So you're going to take my money, my taxpayer money, to pay myself? So you're going to pay me with my money for killing my son? No, no, oh no, oh no, no, something, no, 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 no. Something is wrong with that. Is it the old saying, something is rotten in Denmark, something is rotten in America. That has got to change. That is why you got to get rid of qualified immunity. You know, the state of Maryland just passed a law basically that does a lot of these things, which I will segue to my next challenge, is to governors and state lawmakers to get rid, if you have what they call these police officers' Bill of Rights as law in your state that gives officers this qualified immunity, that gives them this sense of power and authority that they know, listen, I can kill any unarmed black person or Hispanic person, a brown person or Muslim. What you gonna do? The city will pay for it. I'll still have a pension. I probably won't go to jail. No. You are a public servant. Police officers, you are a public servant. Your job is to serve and protect, not just the privileged and the powerful, but for everybody. Now, I understand there are a lot of conditions in America that police officers are not equipped for. There are a lot of social ills. Systematic and institutional racism and Jim Crow laws. Laws were on the books that segregated against black folks. It's as far back as from when it was illegal for black people to read a book, to where black people were relegated to the poorest neighborhoods with the most inferior schools and the most unqualified teachers. Redlining, what they call redlining, where banks would loan you money to buy a home, or you couldn't get insurance for a home, or you couldn't get insurance for a car. All of that, all of this institutional racism that's infiltrated the medical profession, institutional systemic racism, the criminal justice system. It is like a virus that has affected every piece and every part of the American fiber of American society. So it's going to take local and state lawmakers. And in closing, here's my answer. This is what you can do. This is what I can do. This is what we can do. I'm going to need some of you all that's watching me right now to run for office, to run for state legislators, to be a state representative, to be your state senator, to be your mayor. The mayor selects the police chief. The mayor selects the police chief, and the mayor can decide what the climate of that police department is going to be by who he or she chooses to lead that police department. Mayors and city council, they can create local laws that limit some of the powers that these police officers have when it comes to excessive force. They can get around these qualified immunity laws. They can create local laws that will hold police officers on their department accountable when they shoot unarmed people in the back, or 16 times walking down the street, or while she's sleeping in her bed, or while they're driving away, or while he's selling loose cigarettes on a street corner, or while he's selling CDs out in front of a store. And I could go on and on and on. So yeah, I'm going to need you. I'm going to need some of you all. Some of us, we need to run for office. Because I said this before on an earlier episode. To change the laws, you need to be in a position to write the laws. To change these laws, you need to be in a position to create new laws. And it may mean that we need to expand the United States Supreme Court. It wasn't always 9 jurors. I think at one time we had close to 20 Supreme Court judges. Oh, that's going to get a lot of folks, or some folks' panties all up in a bunch. You know what? Too bad. Time for some action. Once again, remember, to change the laws, you need to write the laws. And to write the laws, you need to be sitting in these seats of power. You need to run for offices that give you the power to write law, to write new laws and change these laws and hold rogue police officers accountable. Because it doesn't matter. You say, well, you know, most of the police officers, that's irrelevant. Because whatever the numbers are, it only takes a few. It can really only take one to spoil the whole bunch. We'll say one rotten apple can spoil the whole barrel or something like that. Only a few. It only takes a few. And apparently there's more than a few people that are on these police departments who have a gun and a badge, who are totally, morally, ethically, and in multiple ways, just unequipped, unqualified to be in that position. They don't have the moral character. They don't have the humanity, the compassion, the empathy, the sense of respect for seeing someone that looks different than them as a human being, and to treat that person the way that they would want to be treated, or the way that you would want someone to treat your son. Should have treated, so Kim Potter should have, like I said, she should have saw her son, if she has a son or a nephew, she should have saw her son or her nephew in Daunte Wright before she pulled that gun, and roughly had close to 5 seconds before she, from the time on camera you see her holding the gun to the time it took for her to actually pull the trigger, was almost 5 seconds. It was probably close to 5 seconds. That wasn't like a split decision. That was a choice. That wasn't an accident. That was a choice. And now she's in jail. Thank God. She probably won't be there long. Because you know all the racists and the white supremacists and white nationalists already probably got a GoFundMe page. But she was arrested and charged with second-degree manslaughter. We gotta, to change the laws. I'm gonna be a broken record, but I'm gonna close on this once again. To change the laws, you have to be in a position to write new laws. Thank you for letting me be a part of your life. As always, God bless each and every one of you. God, most of all, thank you for letting me do the Geno Show, the Geno Jones Show, live right here on my YouTube channel, Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 in Chicago, 5:30 p.m. I want to thank Dr. Damon Arnold, who came on yesterday. So I got my second COVID vaccine, my second shot yesterday. Yay, yay. As you see, I'm hyped and fired up. So I'm feeling great. That's the arm. Like virtually no soreness. I did what the doctors told me. Right after I got my shot, I took 2 acetaminophen tablets. You should do the same if you're taking Pfizer or Moderna vaccine. Speaking of Moderna vaccine, I got a text just before I came on camera from my baby girl. Shout out to Allie Jones. I got a picture. She had her mask on and her COVID-19 card. She said, Dad, I got my first vaccine. I was so proud of her. She was proud of herself. Got a picture holding her card with her mask on. So, and I know there's still some vaccine hesitancy out there. Listen, we've been getting vaccines. A lot of you all that claim that you're hesitant to get a vaccine, I mean, you got measles vaccines, you got measles, you got German measles vaccines, you got mumps vaccines, you got rubella vaccines, you got tetanus vaccines, you got diphtheria. I don't know what the hell is diphtheria vaccines. You got polio vaccines. When you were a kid, you get meningitis vaccines. If you travel to a lot of countries, foreign countries, you got to get a yellow fever vaccine. If you go to Africa, you got to get a vaccine for malaria. You in the military, you don't have a choice. They give you a whole bunch of vaccines at one time. You don't even know what the hell they're giving you. So, because the life you save, it's not, I don't wear a mask and I don't get a vaccine. Yeah, I get a vaccine because I do want to protect myself. But I don't want to be an asymptomatic carrier. It would haunt me because of my humanity and my sense of morality. It would haunt me if I knew that I was an asymptomatic carrier, or maybe a very mild case, or medium mild case, or you weren't hospitalized, but maybe it was you felt like you had maybe like a cold or like a sinus infection or something, but you spread it to someone else. And that someone, their immune system could be compromised. They could have multiple conditions, maybe COPD, diabetes, hypertension, maybe recovering on chemotherapy, or maybe have someone in their family with a compromised immune system. And they could wind up dead. So please, we have to have some sense of humanity, because at the end of the day, we are all part of one race. Now, this whole concept of whiteness was used to divide and conquer all of us. I've talked about that on several episodes. Go back and binge watch those episodes. But this virus is teaching us that, yeah, you know what? This whiteness, this whole concept of color is bullshit. Because this virus didn't care. COVID-19 didn't recognize, oh, that's a white person. Oh, that's a black person. Oh, that's an Asian person. Oh, that's a Hispanic person. Oh, that's an indigenous person, a Native American. This virus don't give a damn. It sees a human. It sees a human body, sees a host, and it will infect that host, irregardless. It doesn't know borders. It doesn't need a passport. And it has no bias. Doesn't care. So, oh, we're going to spare white folks and not kill them. No. We've had going on, we are approaching 600,000. Let me just say this slowly. I need this to sink in before I get out of here. We are approaching 600,000 dead Americans in 12 months. Roughly now, I guess you could say 13. So in a year, nearly 600,000 Americans have died. Just wrap your brain around that. Can you imagine if 14 months ago, 13 months ago, somebody would have told you that nearly 600,000 Americans are going to die? All the predictions, the worst predictions were, okay, maybe 200,000, 150,000. 600? Nearly 600,000 Americans have died. Get a vaccine. Save a life. It could be your life. It could be the life of somebody you love. If you can't do it, and you don't want to wear a mask, then just stay your ass at home, or just get around, find a community of a bunch of like-minded, we don't want to take the vaccine, and spread it among yourselves and keep it there. You have a right to be suicidal, stupid, racist, ignorant, but you don't have a right to be homicidal. You don't have a right to put my life in danger or the life of somebody I love. You don't have that right. It is nowhere in the Constitution. It is not a God-given right for you to carry a lethal virus and spread it to me or somebody that I love and potentially kill someone that I love or myself. No, you do not have. And I don't have that right to put your health at risk like that. Thanks for watching, everybody. Shout out to Bruce Gage. He is the official wardrobe stylist and consultant for the Geno Jones Show. Check him out on Instagram, on IG, Bruce Gage, G-A-G-E, Bruce Gage. Also, flyballthestore.com. Check out flyballthestore.com. Shout out to Markel Bailey, the official barber and hairstylist for the Geno Jones Show. Kel, we need to come see you tomorrow. Check him out on Instagram, on IG, Kel B. Cuttin, Kelbecuttin. I love each and every one of you for watching. Please go back and binge watch. Like, share, and subscribe. Let me say it again. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Please tell everybody you know to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Binge watch all my back episodes. If you would like to be a sponsor on the Geno Jones Show, if you would like to advertise on this channel, I would be honored. If you need a pitch man, if you need to king a pitch man, I am that dude. I am that guy. I would be honored to pitch your product, or I would be honored to have your business, product, good, or service. I'd love to have you as a sponsor. Reach out to me right here on my YouTube channel. Just leave me a message right here, Geno Jones Show. Or you can leave me a message. Actually, you can leave me a message, Geno Jones Show. I'm trying to decide which one I want to get out. Geno Jones Show at gmail.com. All right. That's how you spell Geno Jones Show at Gmail. Or just leave me a message right here on my YouTube channel. All right. I love each and every one of you. Thank you for watching, Mother. I love you. I know you know that. Tomorrow, Thursday, getting ready for the weekend, the Thursday edition of the Geno Jones Show. Live, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Central, 3:30 p.m. on the West Coast. Until then, tomorrow, be blessed. Thanks again for watching.
Subscribe and tune in to the next episode of the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube.